All right, welcome. It's indisputable. We had a little bit of a technical difficulty, so thank you for your patience. We still got a lot of show today. All right, breaking down news of the day, we have none other than Senator Nina Turner, former Ohio State Senator, TYT contributor. Top story for today: Matt Gaetz, yep, the guy under investigation for child sex trafficking, that Matt Gaetz has now offered the killer, Kyle Rittenhouse, a job. You can't say these guys don't stick together. Here's the video.
He is not guilty. He deserves a not guilty verdict, and I sure hope he gets it because you know what? Kyle Rittenhouse would probably make a pretty good congressional intern. We may reach out to him and see if he'd be interested in helping the country in additional ways.
All right. Still having some tech issues, but we are working through them. It will not stop this truth. Okay? All right. Matt Gaetz, the guy under investigation for human child sex trafficking, has now offered the killer, Kyle Rittenhouse, a job so that your taxpayer dollars can not only pay a potential pedophile, but also a potential murderer, all in the same office. Here's the video.
He is not guilty. He deserves a not guilty verdict, and I sure hope he gets it, because you know what? Kyle Rittenhouse would probably make a pretty good congressional intern. We may reach out to him and see if he'd be interested in helping the country in addition.
Yep, you heard it right. Okay. Representative Matt Gaetz out of Florida, of course, said Wednesday that Kyle Rittenhouse, the teen on trial for killing 2 people at a Black Lives Matter protest last year in Wisconsin, might make a good congressional intern, and said his office may reach out to see if he wanted to help the country in, and I quote, additional ways. So according to the good congressman here, this killer was just helping out the country. You see how the narrative changes? A young Trayvon Martin who has Skittles and sweet tea, he's obviously a thug, right? I mean, what else is somebody going to assume if you're black and you're walking at night and you have the audacity to wear a hoodie, right? So we want to say that Kyle Rittenhouse is a child. Trayvon Martin, the victim, was an adult, according to their narrative. He is not guilty, according to Matt Gaetz. He deserves a not guilty verdict, and I sure hope he gets it. You know what? Kyle Rittenhouse will probably make a pretty good congressional intern, Gaetz told the right-wing network Newsmax. We may reach out to him and see if he'd be interested in helping the country in additional ways. Just a reminder, Rittenhouse, 18 years of age, on trial for fatally shooting 2 people, injuring a third during a protest in Kenosha, Wisconsin on August 25th, 2020, after Jacob Blake, a black man, was shot by a white Kenosha police officer. We all saw that video. Rittenhouse, who was 17 at the time, said he traveled from his home in Antioch to Kenosha. He comes from one state to the next to protect property from rioters. And by the way, just an important statutory note, it is against Wisconsin law to use deadly force to protect property, by the way. That's on the books, okay? He was armed with an AR-15 style rifle when he shot the 3 men at a demonstration. The jury began deliberations on Tuesday. The most serious charge against him is first-degree intentional homicide. Carries a mandatory sentence of life in prison. Gaetz obviously being no stranger to criminal investigations himself. The congressman is under investigation as part of a sex trafficking probe that led to the arrest and plea deal of his reported friend and wingman, Joel Greenberg, from Seminole County, Florida, who was the tax collector. And I can guarantee you this, his buddy Joel is singing like a bird. All right, Senator Turner, you know, 2 peas in the pod here?
Pretty much. I mean, white supremacy is a hell of a drug. Yeah. I mean, this congressman, even before the trial is done, he's innocent. He has declared that Kyle is innocent. He needs to get off. And by the way, I'm going to give him a job too. Definitely birds of a feather. And it's quite an insult. But these people, I mean, they're so brazen with it right now. If there's any positive to this, and I mean that in a very sarcastic way, is that the congressman has let us know very clearly where he stands. So we don't have to be surprised. We can't be surprised. I'm surprised that we are surprised about anything that will come out of this man's mouth. But it is definitely an insult to the family, to the process that's going on right now, to have a congressman even flirt with the fact that he can make this man an intern. No matter what happens in this trial, he should not be an intern in Congress.
Right. And you know, if someone like Maxine Waters would have said that about a black man on trial.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Oh, my God. She's tampering with the jury. Right.
It would.
She's a criminal.
And Doc, one other point, you know, black children, to a point you were making, they treating Kyle as if he is a little boy. Certainly he was 17 at the time, far from being a little boy, not quite all the way grown by our standards in this country, but far from being a little boy. But it made me think of not just Trayvon Martin, but also Tamir Rice, who was killed on a playground here in Cleveland, Ohio. And Loman, the officer who shot him, said he thought he was 20 years old. It's not just the Lomans of the world. A lot of white people, particularly in law enforcement, but a lot of white people see and label Black children older than what they really are. What does that say? Is that young Black children rarely get the opportunity to truly be children. They do not get the same benefits that white children usually get, whether it's higher suspension rates at school, whether it's just doing childish things. They're always held to a higher standard. And when that happens to them in childhood, it absolutely follows them to adulthood. So there is no way that a Trayvon, that a Tamir Rice, or any other younger Black child would have gotten the same benefit of the doubt that Kyle has gotten. And Kyle was actually carrying a weapon, driven there by his mama. He should have never been there in the first place.
Very well said. And you pointed it out. Story. The real narrative of America is white people who commit crimes are always given a benefit that a Black person in the same situation would never receive. That is your implicit bias. That is your critical race theory in application. That is your systemic bias, all rolled into one dynamic. Okay, we're going to show you some more here, all right? So let's go to the McMichael Bryan trial, the people that killed Ahmaud Arbery, right? So Travis McMichael, who is the son of the father-son duo, decided to take the stand. Now, this was quite interesting because he was crying what has been deemed as white tears. These white tears are something magnificent, obviously. Kyle Rittenhouse cried white tears. You now have Travis McMichael crying white tears. And it's amazing to me that this is the commonality. Get on the stand and just make people feel bad, right? You know, when you are a defense attorney, sometimes you are talking to the jury of one because you only need one to say, reasonable doubt. Now, that doesn't get you a not guilty, but it gets you a hung jury and you get to go home, okay? And then the prosecutor has to decide if they want to charge you again or not. Well, now Travis McMichael said, no, you got it all wrong. Ahmaud Arbery was a dangerous person. He was going to kill me. I was in fear for my life. Here's the testimony.
I shot him. Why? He had my gun. He struck me. It was obvious that he was. It was obvious that he was attacking me. That if he would have got the shotgun from me, then it was this is a life or death situation, and I'm going to have to stop him from doing this. So.
Yeah, I got more. Here's what happened under cross-examination from the prosecutor. Here it is.
And at this point in time, when you first see him on Burford, he's not reaching into his pockets.
No, ma'am. Not running, no, ma'am.
And he never yelled at you guys?
No, ma'am.
Never threatened you at all?
No, ma'am.
Never brandished any weapons?
Sorry, Your Honor, he's trying to finish his answer.
Yeah, he did not threaten me verbally, no, ma'am.
All right. Didn't brandish any weapons?
No, ma'am.
Didn't pull out any guns?
No, ma'am.
Didn't pull out any knife?
No, ma'am.
Never reached for anything, did he?
No.
He just ran?
Yes, he was just running.
Gives an idea of mens rea, the formulation of criminal intent, the thought process of the criminal act. Here's more.
She said, we've had a lot of trouble with thieves. It just worries me because my daddy is slap old crazy, LOL. He's old as dirt and doesn't care about jail. And you responded, that's what this world needs more of. My old man is the same way.
I did say that, yes, ma'am.
And then the next line is, you said, hell, I'm getting that way.
I did say that.
She said, have to make an example out of somebody. You said, that's right. Hope y'all catch the vermin, correct?
I did.
And ladies and gentlemen, this is why bias and racism, this is why it is deadly. Here's the next one.
You made contact with the shady-looking white guy under the Fancy Bluff Bridge while armed, correct?
I did, yes, ma'am.
And your father had his gun on him too, correct?
I believe he did. I would assume he did, yes, ma'am.
Okay. And did you brandish and show your weapons to the man?
I did not.
This was just some sort of pleasant conversation with the homeless guy under the bridge, is what you're telling this jury.
Yeah, it came pleasant once I split between him and the machete that he had there, and asked him what's going, how's he doing, what's going on. He stayed right where he was to continue to fish, and I didn't see a threat.
Let me make it very plain. The similarities in these cases, the McMichael Bryan case and the Kyle Rittenhouse case, you have white men who grab their weapons to go somewhere in order to use them. They ended up killing individuals who had no weapon and did not think that they would be killed just by being there. And then, after they commit the murders, there's ambiguity about if they should be charged with murder or not. People are scratching their heads. I mean, dead bodies, unarmed individuals, they have no lawful authority to do what they're doing. Still, the criminal justice system did not immediately swoop in and say, that's it, done deal, case closed, it's over for you. We had to fight to get to this point, okay? In the Glenn County case, the murderers of Ahmaud Arbery, it ran so deep that the DA ordered the cops not to arrest him. The DA has now been indicted for covering up a murder. Do you think this is the first time that DA covered up a murder? That DA has been in power for a long time down in the Glenn County circuit. You need to open the books on her, but she covered up a murder. She's been indicted for it. She's been indicted for it because of free press. People started looking into it. The GBI got involved. Senator Turner, they're taking a stand now saying, hey, we got it all wrong. They were actually the victims. Travis McMichael, the killer, says he was going to be killed. He had no choice. What are your thoughts?
Of course, he should have kept his behind at home. He testified that his father came in and said, oh, we think somebody is messing with property. You were at home. He said he was at home with his son, his mother, somebody's mama was there, and his father came in and said, I think I see the guy. Keep your behind at home and dial 911, and we wouldn't be in this situation. And then for him to intimate that somehow Aubrey was the aggressor with a straight face, like the pure unadulterated gall, to say that he was in fear. But you know what, Doc? This ain't the first time. See, this is a pattern in American history. It's making me think of a book, and it was called The Negro the Beast, and it was written at the beginning of the 20th century. I think it was 1900s, where this whole book was written. It reminds me of the movie Birth of a Nation, just laying out how God created Black people inferior, that we're just a little one level above the apes. See, this is the mentality that these people have. And just one more thing, can I just throw this out here?
Absolutely.
Remember the Drea Scott case of 1857? Well, Justice Tandy laid out how a lot of white folks thought then and think now when he said they had for more than a century before been regarded as beings of inferior order and altogether unfit to associate with the white race, either in social or political relations, and so far inferior that they had no rights which the white man was bound to respect. Doc, that's it. That is how the McMichaels felt, that Aubrey had no rights that they were bound to respect. Call the police, even though that could be a death sentence too, but you ain't gonna posse up in a vehicle carrying your weapons, hunting down this Black man, and now you get to say you in fear of your life. Hell to the no.
Sister, you preaching nothing but the gospel truth. And the prerequisite these killers used was a citizen's arrest statute in Georgia. And by the way, that statute has been overturned It was a bipartisan move to get rid of that citizen's arrest law. But they were even wrong about that law. The law says that you have to see somebody in the commission of a felony, right? And it has to be at the same time that you make the citizen's arrest. They were all wrong. But here's the reality of what you're saying. Not only was there a de-evaluation of the life of Mr. Arbery from the McMichaels and Bryan, think about the responding officers who did not even require a legal explanation from the McMichaels as to why they killed Ahmaud Arbery. The police admitted there was no conversation about burglary, trespass, or anything else. Nothing else. They were allowed to go. Okay.
Yeah. Senior McMichael, don't forget, was a part of that police. You know, he was in law enforcement. So that might be the reason. Yeah,
he worked for that DA at a time, and they were good friends. And she decided to commit one of the most atrocious acts by covering up a murder on the taxpayer dime. How comfortable can you be?
Come on.
I mean, I got some cats. Listen, Senator.
The more things change, Doc, the more they stay the same.
But I got to tell you.
Nothing about no, Lord Jesus. They got me calling them Black Jesus.
I'm from a place on Glenwood Road. There's some cats that I was raised with. They have a different code they live by. Now, there's a lot they'll do, but they're not about to cover up the murder for somebody. You got to think about how evil and detrimental this DA is to say, I'm willing to go on record and cover up an actual murder. That is a thug. Okay?
That's it.
All right. Here's some news. It's an update, okay? Oklahoma governor has now commuted the death sentence of Mr. Julius Jones. Let's put up a picture of Mr. Jones. He was set to be executed today at 4 p.m. Central Time. Jones' sentence has been commuted to life in prison without the possibility of parole. That was recommended by a majority vote of the actual parole board. They said, okay, well, let's do the commutation thing, right? Jones has been on death row since he was 19. He has always maintained his innocence, and I do believe he's innocent. He's 41 years of age, spent more than half of his life in prison after he was charged and convicted of the murder of Paul Howell during a 1999 carjacking. Mr. Jones has maintained that he is innocent of the crime and was framed by his then friend and co-defendant, Christopher Jordan, who allegedly actually shot Mr. Howell. Two cellmates of Jones, co-defendant Christopher Jordan, have come forward claiming Jordan had admitted committing the crime to them. In one letter sent to Jones' legal team, one cellmate of Jordan wrote that he said, "My co-defendant is on death row behind a murder I committed." His family also provided an alibi for Jones. They've always provided this alibi. Our family knows that Julius did not commit this murder because Julius was at home with us at the time of the murder. His mother said in the news release in 2020, "We were at home playing board games and eating spaghetti. The judge and jury that convicted and sentenced my son to die never heard that we were having a family game night." All right, the clemency petition says he's been on death row because of fundamental breakdowns in the system, tasked with deciding his guilt, including ineffective and inexperienced defense attorneys, racial bias among his jury, and alleged prosecutorial misconduct. Now, I want to remind you, we know today, and you can find this on the Innocence Project page, that we had jury members that called him the N-word. We had another jury member that said he needs to just be taken to the back of the courthouse and shot. These are the people that swore to be unbiased and judge the facts as they are. And then you had ineffective legal counsel and a black man in front of you, a recipe for injustice and the tragedy that has happened here. Senator Turner, what are your thoughts on this one?
Hey, that's it, Doc. You know, just got to say amen on that. It is unfortunate that when it comes to African Americans and then other people of color and then poor people by extension, there always seems to be a glitch in the matrix.
Yep, always.
There's a glitch in this matrix for sure, and it's been going on for generations. And we got to put a stop to this. This is wrong.
Yeah, and people say that we need to fix the criminal justice system. I always challenge that line of thinking. You actually need to break it, because
know
the
that's
criminal
right.
justice system is doing exactly what it was designed.
What it was designed to do. You
right?
better come on.
Right.
That's
All
it.
right. We got more on the other side. It's indisputable. Stick and stay. All right. Welcome back. It's indisputable. Ladies and gentlemen, I wish a Karen would.
TikTok, don't take this video down. This lady damaged property and assaulted employees.
I assaulted no one.
I'm working for this.
You call the police.
Yeah, I'll call the police. And I have your plates too, so don't worry.
Okay. And
I've assaulted someone, Patty. Patty.
No. You touched that man.
I didn't.
And you almost ran him
You
over.
want to see this? Come here.
No, ma'am.
the truck.
Okay, there really isn't much damage. I'm fine. So what do you want done here? What would you like me to do? Sir, Patty, we're working remotely. I came here for lunch break. I work remotely at my house, which is right nearby. I came back here. The guys are not working. They're cheating me. Okay? All I did was get a little bit huffy.
She's lying.
She's claiming.
She's lying.
Huge. You want to see the huge, long, it's about an 8-foot long wooden table.
Oh, it's not over. I mean, when Karen started explaining things and her arms were getting wider, and when it takes a person that much to explain a story, when literally they have a radius of about 40 to 50 feet, I mean, they're lying, okay? She done destroyed property, broke the law, was rude to people, and physically harassed somebody. Unwanted touch is what it's called. All right? There's more. Here's the rest of it. It gets even more dramatic.
We were taking it out there, and they dropped it. I was trying to maneuver it. This guy over here was in the way. Ma'am, you know what?
You were being
prejudice
rude.
is not going to do a thing for you.
You were being so rude to him.
I was not.
That they were like frantic.
Because I'm not interested in any of this story. All I'm doing is moving things. That's all I am doing here.
But you damaged.
What would you like me to do?
You damaged my property.
Okay, what would you like me to do?
The truck.
What would you like me to do here?
I want
Do you want me to bolt it
Jerry.
back in?
I know I'm not supposed to laugh at it because why am I not supposed to laugh at it? I think I am supposed to laugh at it, actually. Okay, good. All right, Senator Turner.
She explaining
going on
for
with
dear
your girl?
life, Doc. She explaining for dear life, baby. She's like, hey, wait a minute. Let me explain. What you want me to do? You want me to fix this right here? Karen was sure enough got on that
Yeah.
one. She was got.
That was probably the first time, at least on Indisputable, when a Karen did not double down on her Karenicity.
Yes, it is.
But it was still very Karen in the response.
Karenish.
Karenish, for sure.
Yeah,
I mean, she was
they
like,
can't help it.
what we
She
need
can't
to do
help it.
here, all right?
Right.
Who do I need to pay off?
I gotta give it to her. You're right. I mean, I'm gonna give her a little points on this, but not totally doubling down on it, trying to figure out how she can get her behind out that situation.
out of it, 100%.
Out of the situation. It wasn't no situation.
It was
She
a
had a
situation.
situation. Yeah.
Okay. I got something for everybody. Double dose.
You want to call the police on them for having a barbecue on a Sunday.
I feel free! Back off! I'm going to tell there's an African-American man threatening my life.
Today, because this bitch is Subway said, I will. You will be mine. I will. You need to go back there and do your job. I will. Do your job. Do your job. Do your job. Y'all want this woman to make your food? She will not make my customers' food and threaten to beat my for her racist. Come on out here and do your job, bitch. You got the right white girl. Somebody call the police. Sir, can you call the law? Why not? She's one person. She's one person. And I'm willing to wait for their food that she's refusing to make. So, you won't call the law? Okay. Well, then serve your country and sit right on right there. I bet you got that vaccine too, didn't you? Yeah, you Democrat, socialist, commie bastard.
You damn call me no commie bastard. I took it because bad lungs run in my family.
Well, I pray to God that you don't get hurt because that it kills old people. It kills people with heart diseases and bad lungs and stuff.
I mean, you know, when you have a cell phone, you can actually call 911 yourself. You're able to do that. this particular Karen, and there's more video. This particular Karen called a person who was obviously a serviceman, calls him a commie B word, a veteran, a commie B word, because he said, yeah, I got vaccinated. What's the problem? And then now she's going to sue Subway, obviously. Here it is.
JC Porter, badge number 37. Your incident number is right here, 21-006940, okay?
She bit me. That's a felony. $80 glasses. My face.
Are you going to the master's?
I am going to sue Subway now because the scratched my face. Yep. Look at it. I'm going to sue the out of them.
I want to know what attorney is going to take that case, right? So just imagine that conversation. So, Karen, you mean to tell me you went into the Subway, you started a scene, you harassed others, you started to record everyone, you call a veteran commie B word for taking the vaccine, and then there's some scuffle that's not recorded that you claim happened, and now Subway should be sued. Okay. And then you brag about the whole thing on social media. Looks like you had a master plan here, Karen. Senator Turner, what are your thoughts?
She rolling just like a Karen rolls. I mean, Karen gonna do what Karen does.
They gonna do what they do.
It was amazing how the serviceman, said, call the law. No, not doing it. You're not gonna call the law? No, not doing it. I bet you one of those. You took the vaccine. You a Democrat. As you said, call them explicative. And then the elderly gentleman was like, wait a minute, I took the vaccine too. And no, you ain't coming at me like that. Old dude got up in there on that one. And they were both, him and what appeared to be his wife, I think. I mean, they were looking at Karen like she had lost her mind. And she really did. She lost her mind.
And listen, that's how, and I don't know the party affiliation of any of these individuals at the Subway.
Sure.
They could be Republicans or even Trump supporters. We don't know.
What difference does it make?
It doesn't. That's right. That's the point. And we should not have a partisan construct as it relates to health care or vaccinations. It has never been this way before. It only started when Donald Trump politicized it. And I had to tell a college student of mine not too long ago, just because something has been politicized does not mean it is political. You have to be able to dissect and unravel those things that men and women have politicized for the sake of their agenda. This is not a political conversation. It's a conversation about health, your personal choice in healthcare. Okay, we got more on the other side. It's indisputable. Stick and stay. Welcome back. Okay. What if I told you that the judge in the Kyle Rittenhouse case, Judge Schroeder, decided to sing a song to Kyle Rittenhouse, the accused murderer? What if I told you that? You would say, no way in the hell. Here's the video.
Okay, you want me to play some music? And autumn leaves, and autumn leaves start to fall. Huh?
You see what's happening here, right? Judge Schroeder, who is overseeing the homicide trial of Kyle Rittenhouse, decided to break out into a song in front of jurors and the smiling defendant inside of the courtroom. Completely improper. The unusual display, according to The Independent, was conducted in front of members of the jury. Rittenhouse is facing 5 felony charges, including killing 2 people and trying to kill a 3rd. That's what it is. There's more. He also referred to black people, African Americans, as the black. Here it is.
And when the clerk, the government official, drew the name out of the tumbler, it was a black, the only black. There was nothing wrong with it. It was all okay. But what do they talk about? Optics nowadays? Is that the word for things? That was a bad optic, I thought.
If you know someone, or if you're the person who refers to black people as the black, that person is racist. If you say it, you're racist. There is nobody on the planet who refers to black people as the black, and it's not racist. Judge Schroeder would go on to defend his stance on letting the people in Rittenhouse, in the Rittenhouse trial, he said it cannot be referred to as victims, but you can refer to the victims he killed as criminals. You can call them arsonists, whatever you want to. Here's some video of that.
The business about people not being identified as victims. How would you like to be put on trial for a crime? And the judge introduced the case to the jury by introducing you as the defendant and the person who is accusing you as the victim. And then throughout the trial, have all the references to the complaining witness as being the victim. Is it so difficult to just use the term complaining witness instead of prejudging what the jury is here to determine as to whether there's a victim and whether there was a crime committed? So I don't know what the, well, I'll leave that comment at that.
These are just a few of the shenanigans. Now, naturally, with a judge like this, a courtroom where people are able to report because of the transparency rule, they can talk about what's happening inside of this courtroom. The media is allowed to be there. The judge is now upset that people are telling the truth about what he's doing and how weird he is and how biased he is for Kyle Rittenhouse in this courtroom. So here's what he said about the media.
When I talked about problems with the media when this trial started, we're there in part, not fully, but in part because of grossly irresponsible handling of what comes out of this trial. I will tell you this, I'm going to think long and hard about live television of a trial again next time. I don't know. I've always been a firm believer in it because I think the people should be able to see what's going on, but when I see what's being done, it's really quite frightening. Frightening, that's the right word for it.
It's a damn shame. It's a damn shame. Today, that same judge decided to ban MSNBC from the entire courtroom. This is the same judge that decided to sing Autumn Leaves to make the defendant smile. Ladies and gentlemen, this gives you a close example, a very direct point of view as it relates to judicial authority in America. If you got a good judge, a judge that actually believes in the law, is fair, judicious, intentional about probative versus prejudicial rulings, then you may have a fair case. But when we talk about criminal justice reform, we cannot leave out the reality of the judiciary and how judges play a massively powerful role in our system of justice. Food for thought. We're going to continue to monitor this case and bring you every update as it comes. Let me show you another blazing example of significant white supremacy and a judge willing to go along with it and let a rapist go. There's a man who sexually assaulted 4 teenage girls. 4. Count them. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? He received no prison time for any of his crimes despite pleading guilty. Put up his picture. His name is Christopher Belter. Keep his picture up. I want you to know this guy. Christopher Belter is in Niagara County, and the judge there, his name is Matthew J. Murphy III. Let's put up a picture of Matthew, the judge here. Okay. All right. So the judge said that he agonized. He used that exact word, that he agonized over the case of 20-year-old Christopher Belter, who was accused of committing the crimes when he was 16 or 17. Belter pleaded guilty in 2019 to felony charges that included third-degree rape and attempted first-degree sexual abuse, as well as 2 misdemeanor counts of second-degree sexual abuse. He had 4 victims. His 4 victims were teenage girls. 4 victims, okay? Don't forget, put up his picture again, Mr. Belter. All right? Now, let's go to the judge. Let's go to the supporter of this privilege. The judge said, and I quote, "I'm not ashamed to say that I actually prayed over what is the appropriate sentence in this case because there was great pain. There was great harm. There were multiple crimes committed in this case, according to Judge Murphy. It seems to me that a sentence that involves incarceration or partial incarceration is not appropriate. So I am going to sentence you to probation." 4 victims. Don't forget, he pleaded guilty to it. 4 victims, rape, sexual assault, sexual abuse. He said he did it. Judge says, oh, they're there. I prayed to white Jesus. And white Jesus has told me to let the devil go. It gets deeper. The judge, you see, because of all of this power he has in his judicial role, offered absolutely no further explanation. None. Was not required to. Belter faced a maximum sentence of 8 years for what he pleaded guilty to. He will have to register as a sex offender. Even though he has 4 victims out there, he serves no prison time. In 2018, I'm giving you the background. Belter, the guy who did the rape, was 17, was charged with first-degree rape, third-degree rape, and sexual abuse for the assaults. The judge at the time, Sarah Sheldon, placed Belter on 2 years interim probation and gave him the chance to apply for youthful offender status in his sentencing. Another judge looking out for him, which would have lessened the maximum prison time and allowed him to avoid registering as a sex offender. Sheldon, who has since retired, predicted that Belter would struggle to comply with the restrictions placed on him in his initial probation, and she was proved right. Belter acknowledged in court last month that he had violated the probation. Think about this. This guy's getting away with rape. He gets put on probation. He violates the probation by doing what? By installing software on his computer that allowed him to view pornography, which, by the way, in his probated sentence, he was not allowed to do. Belter had told his probation officer that he had been watching porn since he was 7. Woe is me. I have a problem. I've been doing this since I was 7. That's what he says. So let's go to what's happening with the victims. Okay, they're real victims to this guy's criminality. There's an attorney. His name is Stephen M. Cohen. Stephen Cohen, a lawyer for one of the victims, denounced the judge's sentencing, saying to reporters on Tuesday, and I quote, "Justice was not done here. My client threw up in the ladies' room following the sentencing. If Chris Belter was not a white defendant from a rich and influential family, in my experience, he would surely have been sentenced to prison." Look at that. Look at all of that privilege, classism, the economy, the political corruption, all of it working in favor of this one rapist. See, I can say rapist. I don't have to say alleged. He pleaded guilty to it. See, that's the thing. He will be free because of a system that protects him. Okay. Obviously, the victims are devastated. We will continue to follow this and update if there's any additional victims. But as it stands now, you can't touch the guy. All right. We'll be back. Stick and stay. Okay, this is happening, going viral on social media, and it shows you what happens in a regular interaction with police coming to your door, somebody who knows the law, and how people who are paid to enforce the law would like to now break the law because you have the audacity to know what the law is. Isn't that ironic and really perverted? You are an executive of the law, you are an administrator of the law, but you hate the law? Here it is.
Hello, who is it? Hello.
Can you turn that off?
No, I can't.
Okay, I said turn it off.
No.
Yes.
Yes.
Turn it off.
Do you have a warrant? Hold on. We have a baby here. Okay, let me explain yourself.
Okay, I'm sure at the sheriff's department. We're looking for a wanted felon. Okay.
He's not
here.
here.
Turn that off because I don't know what it is.
It's a cell phone.
Okay,
You
don't
see
put it
it.
in my face. Don't put it in my face.
Okay. I don't have to tell you that. Do you have a warrant? First of all, I need 3 types of ID.
Okay.
Explain who you are, because you could be anybody dressed up in a uniform.
Really?
By the Supreme Court, yes.
You want to play games?
I'm not playing games.
I'm going to drag you out if you.
That's why I'm recording this. Straight to YouTube.
So this young brother, obviously knowing what the law states, is citing the law back to law enforcement officials who are supposed to also give a damn about the law. And now they're threatening this man. There's more.
No, there's nobody else in the house. There's me and my family. That's it.
Okay, let me explain it to you, okay? We got a female in the apartment complex, just got beat up by her parolee at large boyfriend.
I watched the whole thing.
You did?
Yes.
Okay,
from
then
my
why
window.
don't you help us and step out and tell us what's going on?
I seen the dude walk off. I heard him arguing.
Do you know him?
No, I don't.
I'm being told that you guys are friends with him.
No, I see him in my. He's my neighbor. An ID? As far as that, no, I do not have to describe that to you. Do you have a warrant, or do you suspect me of committing a crime?
I don't know. You could be harboring a fugitive.
I'm not harboring a fugitive. I'm not. There's nobody in here. If you want to check, please go get a warrant. There's nobody else in here.
Sir, just show us ID, and then we'll make sure
you're not him. I'm not him. I'm not him.
Okay, we don't know what he looks like. Okay.
Okay.
Show us your ID, guy.
She'll explain to you what he looks like.
Describe what he looks like.
Okay.
Okay. She didn't describe what he looks like. I don't have to describe my ID.
Okay, grab your ID.
You have still not performed me 3/4 ID.
I don't know what you.
Okay, by the Supreme Court is not what I've been watching. It's the law. And right now, you guys are in violation of color and law.
Okay.
Because you are at my door with guns, and I have filled for my life. I have not committed no crime. This is law. I have not committed a crime.
We're suspecting you of harboring a fugitive.
No, I am not harboring a fugitive. Because you have no evidence, video, audio of me having a fugitive. You are going off words.
And here's how it ended.
Get a warrant.
Would you allow us to check your house?
Get a warrant.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Close the door.
Okay. All right. Let me say this as a warning, maybe. Let's call it a public service announcement to all cops. We're hip to you. Yes. People in communities that you have historically marginalized, they understand not only the power of the law, but also the power of recording. And not a recording that you could just take a cell phone and get rid of, but recording straight to YouTube, recording directly to a social media platform so that you cannot destroy that evidence. So every time you knock on the door of a citizen, especially a citizen that you think is worthy of your marginalization, I want you to remember this, that there's a camera somewhere. And there's somebody who knows the law enough to tell you, you won't violate me. You won't violate my family. I'm thankful for this family, for this young man knowing the law, and also for recording it, because I guarantee you, if that recording device was not present, this would have went down differently. We need more people like him. We need more people to continue to hold cops accountable to the law. We got more. It's indisputable. Stick and stay. All right, I want to say a big thank you to everyone who stayed with us. We had some technical issues and really still having technical issues, but we were able to power through because we have a remarkable team at TYT. Some things are completely out of our control, but we got really smart people here that still made this broadcast work. So thank you for hanging in there with us. We'll have those things fixed tomorrow. All right, remember this, take care of yourself, take care of each other, take care of the planet. Remember, the truth is always indisputable.